Hello everybody, welcome to Speak Votomi and thank you so much for joining me. I just want to take this time to thank every single person who's been supporting me, watching my videos. It means so much to me. If you have not subscribed yet, you can join the fan bam and yeah, just click the subscribe button down below. So today I wanted to chat about a statement that I've heard a lot of people utter. Therapy doesn't work. Therapy doesn't work. I just want to talk about my experience with therapy first. So I remember I was still at my previous varsity before the one I'm currently at. This was 2018, and this is about March, where things got really bad and I was just not coping. So I knew, okay, there's the CCDU department and they give counseling to the students and so forth. So I was like, okay, maybe I should go there. So I went there for therapy. I walked in not knowing what to expect, not knowing how they could help me, but all I knew is I wanted what I am feeling to go away. So I met this amazing lady. She was really a good person. I could tell from the way that she greeted me, and then I walked into her office and we had the first session. It was about 20 minutes long, if not a bit more, and literally just sat. I cried, I explained everything to her, and then she said to me towards the end that she would definitely love to see me next week. Okay, I came back. I think I did about 4 sessions with her, and by the 3rd session, when it was time for the 4th session, I didn't go. And then I received an email from her asking me to come back, and my reason to her for not going was simply the fact that I just felt like this is not working. I'm going in there, I'm sitting down and I'm talking and nothing is happening, and therefore I just felt like I don't need to go. Then I finally went for my last session with her, and that was the day where I had decided I am deregistering. So obviously I was going back home, and I knew that this was the end of our therapy time. So then after that, I carried the perception that therapy doesn't work. I carried the perception that therapy is not helpful in any way or form, and that's what I took with me. Then I realized, Guti, there are so many reasons why we have that stance as people, and I just want to share a few of them with you as to why we as people feel as though therapy doesn't work. So the first one is our expectations. I walked into that room with the therapist with the wrong expectations. I walked in there thinking she would be some type of God and make things go away, because that is what I wanted all the time. I wanted the sadness to go, I just wanted things to be okay. But I put on her the task of being a God in my life, and already before I walked, by the time I walked in with the wrong expectations, And the next thing is our perceptions of therapy. I think most of us only knowledge of what therapy is comes from the media. It comes from television. I mean, you may be watching a series and someone goes to therapy and they're sitting with some old granny lady who's asking them, and how did it make you feel? And literally that is all we know about therapy. We haven't read up on it. We haven't found out more. We haven't read up on what the purpose of therapy is and so forth. But all we take on about what therapy is and what it should be is what we have learned from the media. The third thing is, which is something that I hope I didn't do, is we feed off other people's opinions. So when I say it's something that I hope I didn't do, I hope that I was not the opinion that somebody else fed off. There's so many people who have gone, I'm going to use the doctor example, who have gone to doctors and doctors weren't able to help them. But just because it didn't help them doesn't mean that doctors aren't able to help you live a better and healthier life, and I think we don't apply that same concept when it comes to therapy. We just feel like, okay, if it didn't work for somebody else, maybe what they're saying is true, it doesn't work. This one is one that I definitely battled with, is I had lack of patience. And I think reason for this is I went to therapy towards the very end, when I saw that, okay, now things are getting out of hand, now I'm unable to cope, you know. This is at the stage where I am now, I'm unable to sleep, I'm on pills, trying to sleep every night, and even with the pills I'm sleeping max 3 hours. This is at the point where I'm eating more food than I can gym off. This is at the point where I'm just fed up. I have literally done everything I feel that I can do, and that's when I decided to go to therapy. So I went into therapy with the mindset of I need a fix and I need it now, because I've waited all this time to get help and to do things my own way, and it wasn't working. So I walked into therapy to say, okay, it's been like a year, something needs to happen. I mean, it's easy for me to then come out of that to say, nah, therapy doesn't work, because already I'm fed up. I don't have time for another process, because I feel like I need the help and I need it now, and I need the solutions now. This brings me then to my last point. And sometimes we go into therapy but we don't understand, number one, the amount of work that is required outside of the therapy room, and therefore we find ourselves in a space where we do not want to put the work in. That is definitely the space that I found myself in. When you get to a place where you feel like I don't want to do anything, you feel as though it is someone else's responsibility to get you out of the pit that you're in. And I think I definitely had a bit of that self entitlement to say, there's nothing that can be done, there's nothing that I can do, so somebody else needs to do it for me. Someone else needs to put in the work for me. And I think that's a very dangerous place to be in, especially when you walk into a therapy room, because you therefore might even find yourself in a space where you put all of the responsibility on your therapist to do the work. And meanwhile, you're the one that's supposed to do the work. They can help you carry the load in the sense that they adjust how much you're taking in. So they walk you in to say, okay, today just deal with so much, tomorrow you'll deal with this, tomorrow you'll deal with that. But sometimes we feel as though, no, I don't want to do anything, but I want things to get better. So those are things that I found that were the reason that I said therapy doesn't work. And I think it all boils down to thinking that therapy begins when you walk into a room with a therapist, with a psychologist, with a psychiatrist, whatever the case might be. But I realized that no, actually, therapy begins when I step out of that room. When I step into the room, that's where I'm supposed to be getting the tools and the strategy to deal with the life, crisis that I'm facing. And then as soon as I walk out, that's where I need to now maintain everything that I've been taught. So the point I'm trying to make here is we definitely should know more. When you know more and you know what to expect and you know what therapy is and what therapy is not, then you are therefore able to get the best results out of it. I'm definitely someone who believes in both therapy and Jesus, and that's because of my faith. The thing that got me to be most depressed was what my purpose is. And unfortunately, that was nothing a psychologist or a psychiatrist or anybody else could answer for me except God, So as soon as I found that answer, plus using the tools and everything else that the therapist had given me, I was able to merge those two things together and come out the person that I am today. This is one thing that I noticed, that I got a lot of therapy from people that didn't even know that I was getting therapy. I remember my older sister, she would literally just sit with me and listen to what I had to say. She didn't know it at the time. I didn't know it at the time, but she was helping me in my healing. So don't underestimate the power of people that are able to listen to your story. So I encourage you to not write therapy off, and I'm sure it can definitely work for you. I hope this was another insightful video, and if it was, don't forget to like, comment, and definitely do not forget to subscribe. Till the next video, speak Votomi.